Welcome back to North Star Sports Talk.
Episode 3.
Today we got something special for you. First off, we're going to go over hopefully the Twins a little bit.
A little bit.
We're going to go over the Loons a little bit. And then we're going to take a deep dive into college hockey.
And hockey in general.
Yes.
We got wild topics to cover.
We're a little bit over the halfway point for both of those topics.
And obviously with the NFL offseason taking its course, we're going to hit on that real quick. Obviously, because there are moves being made every day, every hour, it seems.
And we got something a little extra special for you today. Alden, would you like to introduce them?
All right. So I don't know if you guys know this. Me and Carter both have gone to St. Cloud State. We've made plenty of friends there. And here are...
Bulldogs.
Enough out of you. Huskies. Here are a couple of our friends that we've made that we brought in to talk sports with us today. Christian, why don't you come on in? And Tristan.
Ain't no way, bro. Just dabbed.
He just dabbed.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Editor, cut that out.
Thank you.
Thanks, editor.
All right. Yeah. So let's start. We got Twins.
I call taking the floor first. On Monday, the Minnesota hockey community lost a legend, as some of you know. Willard passed away. My heart goes out to family and friends of him. He was an absolute legend, and his legacy will live on for a long, long time here in Minnesota. Yes. He made a huge impact on so many people here in Minnesota.
Yes, thank you for that.
Pouring one out for the homie. Twins talk though.
Twins talk. Obviously, we covered the avoiding arbitration and the trade for Diego Cartaya. They signed former Mariners bubble player, kind of a catcher, first baseman, infielder, DH. Minor league deal two-way. He'll report to training camp. But the big news is all the reports seem to be that the Ishiba brothers are the front runners to purchase the team, and it sounds like by the time opening day 2025 hits, it will be at least announced, if not finalized, the sale for the Minnesota Twins, which I know fans have been clamoring for years.
Thank you, God.
Yes. Obviously, some people are concerned with the Ishibas because for the Suns, which is another team they own, they haven't seemed to build a deep roster, but they get star players in, and the Twins have a great prospect pool. So I'm not too worried about that. If they can bring in big-name stars to really bolster the bullpen, bolster the starting rotation, maybe star first baseman, I don't know. But, they brought down prices for concession stands and are still making money for the Suns. These guys are fan-first owners. They want to win. If you're a Twins fan, you want the Ishiba brothers to be the new owners, as it stands right now.
I'll say right now, you lower prices, I guarantee you I'm buying more food.
Yes,
absolutely.
Because if I can get a $20 burger for like $10, I'll buy two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a financial burden to take out a family to one game.
Yeah, and I feel like baseball games are almost the most family-friendly.
They are.
Absolutely.
It's summer. There's days off in the summer that parents can take because, kids are home from school. Obviously, not everyone has that option, but to be able to go out to a game and having it break your weekly budget, that's just unacceptable. There are 81 home games a year. You make so much money from concessions, and it is not just about the profits. It's about the fans, because the fans are what bring in more profits. If you make it better for the fans, they're going to spend more. They're going to support you. And I think the Ishibas know that, and the Pole Edge just never fully came to terms with that. They just wanted to make money in an economical sense, whereas you bring in business, the business is going to then support you.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I saw, kind of looking more into the Ishiba brothers, I did see, this is not confirmed at all, just it's social media rumors, But there was talk that the Sheepers wanted to sign a splashy signing at first base.
Yes.
So that is something kind
Rocco
of
wants that too.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso?
Rocco was talking about that earlier. He wants that.
So, and then a couple other names that are kind of circulating around just in case the Sheeper brothers don't want to follow through with the signing, which sounds like they most likely will, but everything is all kind of up in speculation. Two names that came to mind was Marty Davis. He is the CEO of Cambria. Great countertops, by the way. They look fantastic. Not a sponsor, not a plug there, but I would be excited for him. He's a local owner.
Minnesota guy.
So that would bring kind of locality to the ownership there.
Might
and
be
then
a fan.
Glenn Taylor, the owner of the Timberwolves and the Lynx, has kind of expressed some interest in buying the Twins, which would also be kind of a great buy there. He has done a lot with the Timberwolves and the Lynx. The Lynx just went to the championship. Should have won that.
Rob.
Sorry. Timberwolves
Robbery.
just went to the finals last year.
Western Conference Finals.
Yep. So, Western Conference Finals. I should clarify that. They've had a really good run and are looking pretty promising. This year's kind of iffy, but
They're such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
We've touched on this too.
I think everybody can agree that this is way better than the Poland family.
Yes.
So, and no matter who we sign, I'm sure it can't be too bad than what we had encountered. Knock on wood here, but
yes, obviously.
Yeah,
Sometimes grass isn't always greener, but
it feels like a step in the right direction right now.
the Pohlads were one of the richest owners in baseball, and yet they still spent near the bottom of the league. Like, you can say the grass isn't always greener, but pretty damn sure that the grass is going to be at least a little bit greener.
Yeah.
Please sign Pete Alonso.
Really?
Polar
That's
Bear?
an interesting take.
I mean, who else are we? What other big name first baseman?
I mean, that's true. I feel like with the prospect pool they have, it'd be more likely that they go out and trade for one because they have a pretty set in stone infield with Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa. If Correa's foot and ankle hold up, obviously no guarantee that they do, but all things considered, they have a very deep outfield prospect pool. I think if you trade a couple of those, get a star first baseman, and then develop, because you have a really, really good bullpen. If you bolster your starting rotation, that should be a team that for sure goes to the American League Championship Series.
That'd be sick. Like I said, last video, at this point, I will just take a championship round at this point for any sport.
I don't know.
I
need the parade.
Yeah.
I need the
I don't need
parade.
the parade. I just need to feel good for that we made it that far.
Vikings talk though.
Yes.
Kevin O'Connell signed to a multi-year extension.
Thank you. We all knew it was gonna
Suck it,
happen.
Florio. I don't know what you're on, what drugs you've been given. There really wasn't much tension. It was mostly, I would guess it's about 90% agent talk of trying to drive up O'Connell's price, and about 10% O'Connell being pissed off that he needed to wait a year to prove it for the Wolves. I will say one thing in Florio's favor, though. I think a big thing is the control of the 53, control the roster. It is being reported, not officially, but 4 years, north of $15 million, very much deserved. And I think he has final say of the 53 and much more control of roster and its roster building, which I think is good. Kevin O'Connell is with the team every day. And Kwesi Dofamensa, touching on him, they have been immediately trying to sign him right after. I don't think it is just they're going to keep Kevin and let Kwesi walk. They trust what he's done in pro personnel and trust he's a young guy. His drafting will develop. I give him the tiniest bit of grace for the 2022 class because that was with Spielman's scouts and Spielman's people still in office, in the front office. But 2023, Jordan Addison seems to be a star. You have Mekhi Blackman coming back, who should be at least a number 2 cornerback. You've got good pieces there.
Yeah.
Maybe some depth, but so far so good.
My few questions is, will he keep being a good fit? Obviously, this year he built a really strong locker room culture. You saw it everywhere on off the field. You looked at the locker room interactions after the games. There was really high spirits. Everybody was having fun. I mean, we even had coordinated dances
Yes.
for the defense, which
for turnovers.
Yeah, for turnovers, which I have never seen that.
Yeah.
My other thing is maybe play calling style over the past 2 games of the Vikings season this year was questionable at times. My 2 words for Kevin O'Connell is please use slants. That's 3 words, but please use slants. I feel like we could have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison really benefit from using slants.
Oh, yes, because Jefferson is elite in all 3 levels of the field. Screens, intermediate, deep. He's elite at all of those. That's why he's the best receiver in the league. I think he didn't trust Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold, every report out of camp was he's got a beautiful deep ball. He's got a big arm. He struggles throwing the intermediate stuff. And J.J. McCarthy was elite at that.
Absolutely.
At Michigan.
So,
All right, we had some technical difficulties, but
we're back better than
that's
ever.
why we cut off so abruptly. We're gonna just
Lost some recording.
whatever we said about the Vikings, that's where we're gonna end that. We're gonna move to Christian and the Loons.
Cannot wait for this season to start. So obviously everyone knows of Eric Ramsey. He came from Man United in 2021, and on this day today he joined Minnesota. He knows how to win championships. Man United, well, at the time he was there, won 3 championships with them. Not going to go deep in about what championships they were, but he was there. Now, this year, expect Halonwane, Dotson, maybe Boxall to step it up a bit. Songbin also stepping up. Timu Puki, we bought out his contract, so probably get someone new in.
Yeah, what happened with him?
So, just a brief section. He was not happy here in Minnesota. Wasn't scoring goals. Just wasn't happy with the
atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Thank you. And I don't, see why that's a problem. Honestly, with all of the players here, I thought it would be a good atmosphere. I mean, you got Boxall, who is a team player and obviously the captain. And then, Sangbang,
another international guy.
Yeah, so he knows everything around the world. So I don't know why exactly he would leave, but honestly, good riddance.
We don't want to be here. We don't want you.
Yeah. So
Minnesota is the best state in the country. So
there you go.
It's the best place.
That's a hot take. We can. But expect some good things this year from the Loons. I will talk about them more in a next video. Hopefully, maybe in the middle of the season.
Yes.
I will be going to the first game this year.
There you go.
So if I am back on this podcast, which is a maybe, I will talk about the first game and how they did. Done.
Great job. Awesome. All right. Minnesota Wild talk.
Let's get it.
Can't believe I have to say this a second time, but
what a year!
What a year! Anybody who said that Rossi and Boldy are washed, you need to go
check yourself.
Check yourself.
I would also just, quick tidbit. We already talked about all of this stuff, so if this seems a little bit weird, it's because it does feel weird for us to have the same conversation over again.
We're gonna do our best here. Yeah, Rossi and Boldy have been elite, have been really stepping up with the Wild being plagued with injuries. Light at the end of the tunnel here. Kirill and Spurge are pretty much back. Yeah. Hines said this morning in practice that he's cautiously optimistic about their return tomorrow against the Utah Hockey Club, which has been pretty hot this year.
Yeah.
Have you heard Yeti and a couple other their name trademarks
got denied,
but they can appeal.
Yeah, they can appeal for those. They still have time to figure out their name. I'm sure whatever it's going to be a really good name. All their submissions have been pretty solid names.
Yeah.
We still have Johansson out on concussion protocol from that little chicken wing that he got from
McDavid,
Edmonton Davids.
And I think that elbow played a part in his 3-game suspension. That's why people are kind of upset with it. But it happened so close together that I think they had to take that into account.
He knew what he was doing as soon as he hit him. I mean,
You can be mad at no
Yeah.
calls, but you can't be acting out like that, especially when you've been in the league for so long. And I think Edmonton Oilers' social media team posting about the suspension is so weird. They're disappointed about it. Like,
disappointed about what?
Like
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
understand Connor Garland was like humping your leg, but like
you have to show discipline when you've been in that league.
you're the captain.
Yeah, you have to show discipline. I think the Oilers fans are so. We're just gonna ignore what he's dying over there. But Edmonton Oilers have been so annoying about it. They still think that Johansson flopped to the chicken wing, which I think is a joke. But Brodeen's still out with some sort of lower body injury. Wasn't able to find out much about his injury, but
Hoping to be back in a few weeks here.
yeah, within a couple weeks, I'm sure. Yurov debut later this season. He denied his KHL extension recently. Talks of him moving to MN soonish, but with Russia and U.S. and their standings right now, it might be a little difficult getting citizenship status here. But I would say realistically, he could be here for the playoffs. If not, he'll be full-time next year, I'm sure.
Yes, he'll have a role.
Wild prospect pool is insane. I'll talk about our dog out in Michigan State right now. That's going to be with the Wild here shortly.
You think so? I think he gives it another year.
I think he
in
might give it
college.
another year, but with how he's playing in Michigan State, he could join the
He could
Iowa
take-
Wild
yeah.
too and grow
I can
a
see
little
him
bit
in
more
Iowa.
there.
The worst.
God,
We're
they're
not going to get
awful.
into
Yeah.
that. That's Iowa talk, not Minnesota talk. But with such an elite prospect pool coming in, I mean, obviously, Biom is going to be coming in next year, probably for sure.
This year, I think I think after this college hockey season, he's here.
But who's gonna we have to talk. The sad part about it is who's gonna go.
I mean, Spurgeon, obviously at that age, probably considering retirement. Same with Bogosian.
Alden's favorite person, Merrill.
Yeah.
I hope
Bye.
Romero goes.
Sorry.
Stick stash.
But yeah,
Don't
I mean,
let the door hit your ass on the way out.
I mean, the two names that would be sad to see go, but would have to probably go to make room would be Foligno and Hartman.
yes.
I mean, they've been great locker room people, fan favorites, obviously. But
Flipping
I mean,
the bird to Evander Kane. Love you for that, Heartsy. But
yeah,
Evander
but,
Kane's ex-wife sending you money.
yes.
but yeah, I mean, they don't really put up the points. So I mean, if you got to make way for prospects, I mean, that's a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not making that decision.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's-
one thing that worries me with this prospect pool is Heinz's past of not playing and developing young guys. And I think Billy G at some point has to say, this is no longer a boys' club. You gotta make business decisions. And if Heinz isn't gonna do it, make the business decisions for him. You're both the GM and the president of hockey operations. You
the
have
next
that power
next year, especially next year, will be huge
in development.
I mean, we're not cup contenders right now. I mean,
They're overplaying,
Yeah.
exceeding expectations, but they're not cup contenders.
no. So I mean, get your hopes up because this is a great season for what was supposed to be a rebuild year.
Yes.
But I
Same
mean,
with the Vikings almost.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, the Wild. I mean, a lot positives to look forward to for the seasons to come. Speaking of our Wild commit, let's hop over to college hockey. The Spartan Wagon, Michigan State, currently sitting second in the nation. Yeah, I had them as going all the way last year as a kind of a joke in my friend group last year, but I'm probably going to be doubling down for them winning the Natty this year. They've been such a powerhouse this season. 3.44 goals forced this season. That currently sits about 6th in the nation. Two main people that come up for points right now is Isaac Howard, Iceman, UMD's own player before he transferred out there. Currently putting up 33 points in 24 games. That's 18 goals and 15 apples for him. And Charlie Stammel, which is a Minnesota Wild prospect, currently sitting at 21 points in 24 games. That's 8 goals and 13 apples for him. Defensively, on the tender side, they are only allowing 1.93 goals per game, which is
Trey is on another level right now.
yeah, both their goalies right now, two sophomore goaltenders with about a 0.93 save percentage, and both have recorded 2 shutouts. So
Yes.
obviously they are playing in the Big Ten Conference, and they're going to be playing Minnesota, Ohio, Michigan, Penn State, and Notre Dame for the rest of the season, as we're all in conference play right now. So,
Do you think their insane success is sustainable right now?
I think, I mean, they've been pretty solid year round. I mean, they're going to probably encounter some slumps with Big Ten teams. Minnesota is a strong team. Ohio is a pretty decent team right now. I mean, all these teams are pretty decent. Notre Dame maybe on the letter, like maybe closer to average right now, but I mean, you could easily take points away from every single weekend for Michigan State, and I think that's a pretty doable task. I mean, obviously NCHC is the best conference. I don't think there's much talk about that. I mean, you have the Big Ten, big money, but you can't deny the fact right now that Western.
You don't think so?
I don't think that this year the NCHC is the top.
I mean,
It's just the pure depth of it.
Yeah.
we have 6 teams in the top 20 right now.
But
How many of them deserve to be in the top 20 right now?
because obviously,
I'll give it 4, but I mean statistically, 6 teams.
No, you got Hockey East.
You got Hockey East is an
Hockey
absolute power.
East is top heavy.
It's just
Yeah,
this year. It's like
there's very
they are teams minus Miami that typically perform well, but this season they're not performing.
yeah. I mean Western Michigan.
They're not performing up to their standards, but they're
Yeah.
still good teams.
As a surprise to me for this week, Western Michigan has been ranked 3rd. Absolute powerhouse over there. Bump. He's
Dog.
crazy.
Dog.
Absolute crazy. He's going to do great things, I feel like,
So-
wherever he goes.
Minnesota Prior Lake. Sorry,
Please.
shock the guy over here.
Denver currently sitting at 5th. It's kind of been a little bit in a slump, a little bit, as they were number 1 for the longest time beginning of the season.
But, you know.
Lost to a club hockey team. Ooh, yeesh. I know it's exhibition, but that's.
But they didn't have their coach.
Yeah,
or
they didn't
their-
have their
I will
or
say-
their best players.
David Carl is probably
he's
the
NHL coach.
He is
Yeah.
the
material.
He's the most probably sought after coaching prospect in recent memory.
I'm gonna check yeah, as we were saying, yeah, I mean, I think NCHC's, it's been a really well-rounded conference. I mean, I wish the
Yes.
WCHA was back, but
Oh God, the WCHA.
that was an
Don't
elite
get me
conference.
started.
But St. Thomas currently building their rink right now. It is looking pretty nice. I mean, they only have the concrete down right now, but
27. That's when they join.
there will be absolute dogs.
They're
Yes.
gonna be wagging.
Yes.
I don't even think this is hot.
Private
to
school
say.
money in Minnesota in the NCHC.
I mean,
what more do you want?
They're gonna make a really deep playoff run within the next 5 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Around the NCHC though, end of an era for UMD possibly. UMD fans have been sounding the alarm this season.
UMD or UND?
UND, North Dakota, the Hawks.
I was gonna say,
Well,
like,
they have been, plagued with injuries, which has been seeming to talk around hockey really. But
Yeah.
they were plagued with injuries earlier in the season, but Mr. Bradbury himself in the past 6 years has only had 1 playoff win and is a 3-time tourney misser. So something might have to start changing. UND fans, like I said, are sounding the alarm as the team has been in a slow decline, and the locker room chemistry is a seemingly almost non-existent this year. And Mr. Barry's contract ends next year, so
Do you think they let him go into a lame duck year of just playing out his final year of his contract?
I think so. I mean,
Or do you think they let him go?
It's just the thing with Bradbury is he's done so much for North Dakota.
yeah, but you can't hold on to the past for very long.
Yeah, I know,
Yes,
but let him
that's-
play
that's
out
the-
that final year just to give him that last.
But that's
run.
what Jerry Jones did with
Yeah.
McCarthy in Dallas, and look how that went.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff that they have to do in the front office. Because I mean, North Dakota has been like a solid team. They've
They're
always been a
good.
powerhouse, but this season is just
It's not quite
this. It's a snooze fest almost. Going over to Duluth, UMD.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. I want to say that they have a promising future. I mean, another thing about coaching. Do we think that the coach has to go?
No,
No, you think we
I'm
keep
just-
him?
I'm sticking with my boy Sandlin.
Okay.
I will. I'll die for that man.
So, my main thing is that obviously the Plant brothers look very promising.
those guys.
Yeah.
Hermantown's own.
Yeah, and also goaltending has not been that bad for UMD this year. I feel like they have solid goaltending. So, how I'm gonna ask Carter this since you're an avid Bulldog fan. How does UMD build around the Plant brothers and the goaltenders? Where do they start? Because I think there's so many things that are wrong with the team right now.
I see. It's hard to pinpoint anything because I think that this is gonna low key sound weird, but the juniors and seniors are weighing this team down. Like
That's valid.
once they are gone. Now let me double check that I'm not gonna be harping on a guy I want to talk about. Okay, he's a freshman. Good. Okay. I think once they're gone, we get in our new prospects. I think that UMD rises back to the top of the NCHC and the top of the national rankings. And I don't think you can get rid of Sandelin because you're going to lose those prospects. I think if Sandelin goes, the Plant brothers are gone.
Transfer out.
Yeah, they're going to transfer. I think that whole team almost transfers out. So I don't
look
think
at the exodus that happened with Mankato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane to watch. Again,
They've risen back up
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
And then going more locally here, there is trouble in the doghouse here. St. Cloud State men's hockey. What is going on here?
Again, injury bug there.
Injury bug, but
Yeah.
St. Cloud obviously is in a rebuild year. I think a lot of fans kind of realize that. But we got our hopes up. It was looking promising.
You've got some promising freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah,
Are you not a
obviously-
SSU fan anymore?
He's just being realistic. We're now plagued with injuries, and I feel like we are forced to play players that don't seem to care as much. Obviously, I think a lot of players don't have an expectation of doing well, so they're not performing well. But let's go through our injury list here, all right? Ryan Rossesborough, 4 to 6 weeks. He took a hit against the UMD series. Posh got his foot open. He got his foot cut open by a toilet lid.
Oh, I was gonna say, do we know how that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gory image. So he's out 10 to 12 weeks as of December. Good news though, Larson was talked to by a couple reporters, and he said, quote, "All I can really say is that it looks like we're going to see him again this year, but probably not for a few weeks." But that is good news. There is that. It's kind of a few week timeline now.
Posh is playing incredibly well.
He's
Hobie Baker nominee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
Even
for
with
him.
the injury.
When was the last time we had one of those? Rennick?
We've never had we haven't had a finalist in forever.
When's the last time that we had?
Yami, I think, right?
Was he a?
Was he a finalist?
I don't think he was a finalist.
Because otherwise it was because I know LeBlanc he won
Yeah,
it.
2013.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't for sure.
Also, I'd like to say that I can't think of another time that there was a goaltender who hasn't played for like 4 to 5 weeks that was on the Mike Richter.
Yeah.
award
No,
list.
that's how good he was playing.
Yeah, it's been insane.
He was playing lights out.
Cooper Wiley is week to week, but it is possible that he returns against this weekend's series. Jack Rogers is out for the season. Medical redshirted for a shoulder surgery. He took a pretty gnarly hit against the North Dakota series earlier in the year. Garner is also out, but there's no real talks of him, but he's kind of Mr. Irrelevant a little bit. But, oh man, the Enright curse right now. 2-6 record for him. .899 with 3 goals allowed on average. Wow, I think the past few years, St. Cloud has had real strong goaltenders, which have kept them in the talks of playoff contention.
This year with Posh injured, just hasn't been the same.
St. Cloud will do a lot better with Posh and net, so the sooner that they can get Posh out there, the better.
Obviously, don't rush him.
Don't rush him because, it isn't like this is his final year.
No.
He'll probably stay.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. But yeah, again,
Minus a transfer, obviously, but
Hobie Baker nominations right now: Austin Bernavec, Barrett Hall, and then Isaac Posh, obviously. So congrats to all those players that are nominated. But the light at the end of the tunnel for St. Cloud is that we do have a lot of promising commits. 13 commits so far, mostly in the United States Hockey League, and a tender from Belarus. That tender is Yan Shotak. He is 20 years old and is currently playing for the Lincoln United States Hockey League there. 24 games played, boasting a 14-9-0 record, 2.45 goals allowed, and a .907 with 3 shutouts. So
Not bad.
he could be pretty promising. A lot of players ranging as early as 16 to 20 years old that are all committed.
Who was that one tender that y'all had?
Oh, Jimmy Schultz in 2019 was a finalist for
Okay.
St. Cloud.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
So,
Who was the one tender that he was like from Sweden or Slovakia or something like that? Like 2 years ago, and he was supposed to be this huge prospect, and he just never played.
Thinking about Gray?
No.
no. We'll do some research on that.
Maybe I'm thinking of Posh. I'll look it up. You guys
Okay.
keep
There
going.
you go.
But I mean, promising recruits there for St. Cloud, but I mean, St. Cloud fans, I think you just kind of have to just swallow your sorrows right now.
It's basically the same thing for Duluth. Once we get these seniors and juniors out of here, it'll be good. I mean, the prospects for next year are gonna be great.
These guys are developing.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing that I'm nervous for St. Cloud State
Yes.
is the way the college is going. How many people uncommit
Yeah.
because they don't want to go to St.
And
Cloud
that's another problem I was just
So,
about to
I
talk
mean,
about.
I think in order for St. Cloud to, I feel like stay
Sorry,
afloat
Coach.
as a university.
I've been a St. Cloud State fan my entire life, so yeah.
In order for St. Cloud to stay afloat, they need a natty. I mean, their volleyball team had a really good year. Wrestling is
Always good.
but wrestling's irrelevant. Really, unfortunately, but volleyball's kind of irrelevant too. But I mean, they had a great season too.
Yeah.
I think. And women's hockey's doing pretty decent right now. They're sitting in the, around the top 10 right now. They've been kind of in and out of the top 10.
Yeah.
But I don't see them making a deep playoff run this year. There's just missing pieces that still need to be filled in, it feels like. So
It's just rough.
it's rough for St. Cloud State fans. So
But
at the same time, like you have people like Adam Ingram, Bernovic, like all those
Ralph.
players that they knew what it was like before they came,
Yep.
and they still
because
decided
they
to come.
they like the coach, they like the
Yeah.
culture.
there's a good culture going on at St. Cloud State, and the fans, while they've been a little lackluster the past couple of years, I will admit, but their fans are still there. Their fans still show up
Yes.
and support them. So, I mean, there's barns in college hockey that will be completely empty. So,
Yeah. I mean,
there's worse places they could go.
They've got to do something to get more fans into that place,
Yeah.
because I swear every time I see pictures that SCSU hockey posts, and it's like just
The,
empty behind the players.
the last time I remember it being full was my freshman year in 2021. Homecoming. Again,
that was
Oh.
an electric
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
That was one of the best games I've ever been to, even though we.
Don't give me
No,
started.
no,
I
no,
still have
no,
the
no,
picture.
no,
I
no,
still
no,
have
no,
the
no,
picture.
That's
Editor, put it right here.
Yeah.
But it
That's
was such
screenshot too.
it was such a great game, and
that was an
yeah.
electric.
I mean,
atmosphere.
even in the beginning of this year, it felt pretty packed in there. I'm not, but
I think that for me, not only was that the most people I've ever seen at a game.
That was-
Well, actually, that's not true. I remember going to games when I was like a little kid, and
Yeah.
it was packed in there. But that was the only game where I felt like everyone in the entire arena had the energy for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you saw that as people threw stuff onto the ice at the end of the game.
yeah.
Because they were invested. Like, that was a good game.
That was
It
a good
yeah,
team.
yeah.
two really good teams going at it, and obviously the NCHC refs wanted to be a part of the game more than the players. But
I would love to relive a
fuck
moment
Tom
like
Stearns.
that.
Yeah.
I would love
Did I say that?
to relive that moment again.
That was-
one
yeah.
game. I would love to relive.
I would like
that.
to say I did not throw anything onto the ice.
Did you?
I don't remember if I did.
I don't think
I
I
should
did.
tell you how that game was for me.
But
Speaking of the Gophers looking real good in the Big Ten.
Yep.
How did you guys feel about the Iron Range alternate jerseys?
I hate them. I do not like them.
I don't even see them. Hold on. This is gonna be first.
Editor,
impression.
put it up here. My hot take. I like them. I think
No.
it's a good tribute to the Iron Range. While it is a UMD territory.
Yes, that's what I like the jerseys. I don't like the school that did them.
Bro, I'm pretty sure UMD has a jersey just like this.
They maybe did, but
The Iron Range is ours. Hop off.
But it is a little odd that they did it. But I think I like them. I don't think they're their worst jerseys ever.
No,
It's just that gray just
it seems like
doesn't
something
justice.
Arizona State would have done.
Yeah, but it's not a horrible jersey. People give it
That's their jersey.
crap when
It's black. See, they didn't pretty much do the same thing.
yeah. Oh.
But they didn't do it great.
But yeah, the Gophers. I mean, so much talent there right now.
Are they ranked? I don't.
Yeah,
They're ranked
Okay.
like top 5.
Okay.
So I think they're fifth.
Mankato looking to take a step back after their coach left for Wisconsin. Mass exodus of players there, but they're looking to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Kind of beating their timeline of what we thought they would be at.
I
Right?
forgot he transferred or he went to Wisconsin. He has not done shit.
Did we even dare talk about Bemidji? Just
Bro,
Oh,
Just
so
mid-table
boring.
in the CCHA.
They are
They're
8 and 12, and they're 6 in the CCHA.
they are the definition of insert average hockey team here. They're not doing
Yeah.
anything crazily bad, but they're not doing anything crazily good.
But
think they're
I
close,
do.
though.
The one takeaway from Bemidji State is they did beat Nodak,
Yeah.
They did.
which is huge for them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good-
so
good
I
for
would
them.
just like to say that in 2019, Bemidji State, all they had to do was beat UMass
Yep.
to make it an all Minnesota Frozen Four, and they couldn't do it, and then UMass
That's
beat the Huskies.
20.
Oh yeah, 2021. I was thinking of.
I remember
What,
that.
Yeah.
what year was it that it was recently Minnesota State and Bemidji went for conference champs?
And then they had to.
Yeah, that was the craziest story. If people
was
don't know,
last
They had to re-go
year?
out on the
If
ice.
Yeah.
people
Last year
don't
or
know,
2 years
That was
ago?
2 years ago.
there is a video on YouTube that covers it a little bit better, but it was conference championships. Minnesota State, Mankato, and Bemidji went conference championships. Goal, and it went into overtime. Minnesota State scored. They handed out the trophy celebrations. People left.
Went
an
off
hour
the ice.
and a half later, or give or take. The goal was reviewed and was turned back because the goal went underneath the net on the opposite side. Didn't go through the way that it was supposed to come in. So they had to take the goal back, and all the players who were probably already drinking
In celebration.
in
yeah.
celebrating, had to come back and play again. Minnesota State won again. So,
Goes to show you.
yeah, it goes to show you.
Bemidji.
Yeah, Bemidji,
First team
but
to ever win 2 conference championships on the same day.
yeah.
Yep.
And then St. Thomas.
They are 9 and 10, and they are 5th in the CCHA.
Really?
Yes.
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas is mid as Atlanta this year.
Right now. Right now.
They will
They are building a very strong program here, though.
I said this year.
They're not even a hot take. They're gonna make a deep run in playoffs within the next 5 years. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
all of
sure.
us here
Yep.
can agree. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody's on the same page about that.
So, I mean, they have a lot of talent.
Oh.
So much talent.
AIC is being bumped down to
Division 2.
Yes.
Division
I love AIC.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think them when they beat St. Cloud State a few years back. I mean, that was really, really good for their program.
That was probably the highlight of their program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, rightfully so, though. I mean,
so.
outside of the NCHC, St. Cloud is a very tough team to beat. They're such a good team year in and year out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sad to see their program get bumped down, but
But just for from an NIL standpoint, though,
yeah.
which
So.
is rough to see, because there needs to be more regulation in all of college.
Yeah.
About it.
But Maine has been doing excellent.
They've been
Their crowds are insane. I mean,
For Maine?
For Maine, absolutely. I mean, last year they had so many sellout games. I think this year they have a bunch of sellout games too.
Yeah.
And that barn just absolutely goes crazy.
6th in the nation.
6th in the nation right
Third
now.
in the HEA too.
You got Providence up there in 7th.
Yep.
UMass is up there. Connecticut. Quinnipiac is at 15th. I mean, that's no surprise there.
I want to see Connecticut do like a deep run into that.
Yeah, who else? I'm going to look at your... Yeah, Clarkson is 20th right now in New Hampshire, right there, too. I mean, I wasn't expecting Clarkson in the top 20.
Wasn't Cornell like pretty high?
I thought
They
so.
were at one point.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of hit a wall.
So,
pretty sure
but-
they beat UMD.
but no, yeah, I mean, where's the Frozen Four again this year?
It is
St. Louis, right?
Yes.
St. Louis.
Bring me back to Minnesota
Yeah.
so Duluth can win their 3rd in Minnesota.
Speaking of tournaments, this is the last year for NCHC in
The Frozen Face
Frozen Face Off, yeah.
here in St. Paul, and next year it goes to Chicago.
It's gonna sell out this year.
It's going to sell out this
Yeah.
year. I don't think they do that
I
well
think
in
it is a
Chicago.
bad idea for them to go to other cities,
Right?
just because you're gonna get
You're
more.
going to have 3 schools in Minnesota.
yeah, you're gonna get more out of Minnesota than any other state.
Yes.
Like,
But, I mean, I get it, though. It's supposed to be a neutral site. Minnesota's going to be turning into a non-neutral site pretty quick, especially with St.
St.
Thomas
Joining.
being so close. So, I get it. I don't get it, but if it doesn't pan out in Chicago, maybe they go back. Maybe they go somewhere a little bit more neutral, Maybe.
But Chicago's pretty neutral, but it's kind of out of the way for everyone.
Yeah. It's kind of close to all the Minnesota teams, kind of close to Michigan.
Yeah.
But then you have Denver and Colorado, you have Arizona, and then you have Nodak.
I feel like
Nodak will still travel. I'm not worried about
will be
Nodak
there.
fans. Nodak will go anywhere.
I just don't know where you could put it that could like centralize it where there's a spot where there'd be a good place.
I mean, you can't go in the central United States because there's nothing there. I mean, there's
St.
stuff.
Louis.
There's like St. Louis. You can do St. Louis, but
Yeah.
who wants to go to St. Louis?
Yeah.
That's it.
People that want to die.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I mean, I think I'm very excited for this year's playoffs. So there's so much talent in college hockey right
Yes.
now, and
And there's about to be more with the CHL
yeah,
being able to come over.
that's huge.
That's going to open up so many doors for so many club programs to make the jump, and I think that's only a good thing.
Yeah, I know they were talking a little bit ago about maybe paying college hockey players too.
Yeah,
I
I
know-
mean they get some, but they don't get much.
No, I think
You
that
just
could
don't get the crowds that you get in football
no,
or-
absolutely,
or
not.
even like volleyball. Like I've
Yeah.
seen
Basketball,
Yeah.
But I think college hockey is a growing sport. And
it is absolutely a growing sport. It's-
because people are starting to realize that a lot of the talent comes from the NCAA for the NHL.
exactly.
That's where the NHL looks the most, is going to be NCAA. They look at the Canadian minor leagues, the OHL, CHL.
and JHL.
Yeah. So, I mean, they look at all those places too, and obviously international at the KHL too, over in Russia. But, yeah, I mean, the NCAA just brings in so much talent year in and year out. It's insane.
Yeah.
What's going on here, but, yeah. I run out of stuff to say, so.
Yeah, there's a lot for college hockey this year, so it'll be a good playoff run for all the teams that make
Yes.
it. I would like to honestly see Western Michigan get in that deep run.
I hope they go on a deep run. I don't hope they.
I don't want them to
No,
win.
I'm not win obviously. I mean Boston College.
Because
Michigan
like they're
State,
so they seem so good year in and year out. They're such a tough team to beat. They're
They
missing.
just can't seem to put it
They're
together.
Yeah.
you can tell that they're just missing that one small piece.
Who they play last year in the game they lost?
We're gonna figure that one out. Yeah, I mean, I think back to St. Cloud, it is a troubling time for sure for the university itself. I mean, obviously,
Attendance is down. programs being
attendance was
cut.
a little bit up compared to their COVID years, but I mean, a lot of budget cuts going on at that university. A lot of deficit, $18 million in deficit.
Yeah. Your president's leaving.
President left. They have an interim president while they're trying to find a new one. Their whole admission department's in shambles. They don't know how to handle student affairs. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they need to rebuild, and I don't know. St. Cloud needs something to go for them. If St. Cloud wants to continue to be a good hockey program, they're gonna need to put their college back on the map.
Yes, exactly.
So just gonna ignore the police going by.
Soundtrack?
But who do they face off against?
They played Michigan State and they lost 5-4 in OT.
Oh,
That was the one goal. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, that one goal that they let in that shouldn't have probably been not in. And didn't they get a goal, but then it got reversed?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Back on St. Cloud State. So right now we are on a 4 losing streak.
Yes.
But in NCHC we are on a 6-game losing streak.
So
obviously Larson needs to whip something up because we can't lose anymore.
yeah,
If we want to really get into top 15 to make playoffs, we got to do something.
Yeah.
Like it's getting down to that point where, yes, our goalies are trying their best. Our defense is just not holding it down. So Larson needs to do something to whip it up. And obviously, it's just...
Is Emery trying his best?
I mean,
with the team that he has, he's made some good stops. He has a pretty good save average.
he did make NCHC honors.
Yes.
A couple weeks back. So I mean, there's that too. I mean,
I just
NCHC.
feel
That was the New Year's week where not a lot of teams played.
Yeah, but
There
I
wasn't
mean,
many options.
yeah, there wasn't many options, but I mean, you still received those honors. So
I just feel like the last 4 weeks it's like he's checked out.
yeah, I think a lot of the team has checked out. I mean, when you have so many people out,
It's
know,
hard.
like-
It's hard to get that.
especially having Rogers and Wiley out, those are 2 pretty good players for St. Cloud right now, and those 2 are out. That affects a lot of the locker room chemistry for sure. So yeah, St. Cloud needs to get out of this slump. I think Brett Larson needs to cook up something together. He needs to make some serious line changes because obviously the offensive and defensive pairings are not working out for St. Cloud
Yeah.
at all. So
They have no chemistry.
no, and nice backfiring. Sounds like me in the toilet. Jeez. Something interesting though. I was looking at their commits for St. Cloud State. There is a commit from California.
Oh.
So Tanner Henricks.
Oh, he's supposed to be good. Yeah, he was drafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
We have a guy from 2 people from White Bear Lake right now committed. We have Nolan Road.
Yep.
So
He's good.
And
Yes.
Aiden Welsh.
He's
So
alright.
he's okay. Trying to see other guy from Wyzetta. Lucan, his nickname is Huff. He's a defenseman. And that goaltender from Belarus. So I mean there's good commits, it's just whether or not they're gonna stick. Also Noah Ernest is still committed.
There we go.
So it's a forward.
St. Cloud State just loves their foreign goaltenders.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
I mean it works out for them though.
Yeah, they've
They're
had
work-
good goaltenders.
So but the sooner they can get Posh back,
The better.
Mm-hmm.
so
Because that's a backstop that your team needs.
and Isaac Posh is that backstop that they really need.
Yeah.
Isaac Posh is, but they're his team on his shoulders.
I just like to say, don't be surprised if UMD makes a sneaky run. at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think that they.
I feel like
Here's my bold take for college hockey. I think
Lord.
that.
get that whistle ready.
I think UMD wins the Frozen face-off.
Yeah, dude. Horrible
No.
thing. That's a horrible thing.
I think they.
I will say they will make it to the Frozen face-off. They won't win.
I think the freshmen take a step up in the second half as they've been doing, and I think they win.
You can only put so much. The rookies can only do so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully they play St. Cloud State because
You probably will.
Yeah.
You're
That's
probably
usually
right.
how it goes.
That's how it has gone the past few years.
I'll take that playoff matchup. Clayton can just sit in goal and just not let anything in.
Yeah.
Hopefully Enright's still playing, so they'll just score like 20. We
Well.
don't even have to have a goaltender in for the last period.
Brent Larson has some tough decisions to make this week.
Juggling lines. Yeah.
Struggling lines.
That's the thing. He hasn't even from the first loss against Arizona State to the second one. He didn't
do anything.
any changes.
Which is a big red flag for me. That
I'm in the St. Cloud State fan page on Facebook, and I be seeing what they be saying, and they're not happy.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be happy with how everything's gone. I mean, it's something needs to be changed.
Here's a good question for all of us. How long does it take for St. Cloud State and Brett Larson to come to an agreement? Do you think in the next 3-4 years, if St. Cloud State is still here, do you think they let him go?
I mean, you can't hang on to the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
It depends on what he does. Next 2 years are going to decide his fate.
Yes, I think so.
I
You've
think-
got commits coming in. You've got
My
talent.
I think he's got one more year, and if he doesn't perform
My-
next year, it's over. Because
take.
we got anything else?
I think we're
No,
good. I think we covered
yeah.
most of the sports here in Minnesota.
Even if we had anything else, no teasers. We don't do that here. You should know that.
I don't know
Now you do.
that. Now I do.
That was
That-
episode 3 of North Star Sports Talk for you. We'll see you next week.
Lonnie, please sponsor us.
You cut that out.